Here are 10 bird facts you can listen to in English. Now, let's get started.
First impressions. Do you know why a baby chick follows the first thing it sees after it's born? This is a special kind of learning called imprinting. It is very important for a chick's survival. By following its parent, the chick can stay safe from other animals, and the parent can show it where to find food and water. A famous scientist named Konrad Lorenz studied this with baby geese. The geese thought he was their mother and followed him everywhere he went. This showed that the behavior is learned after they are born. However, this learning can only happen during a special, short time. This is called the critical period. For most chicks, this time is in the first few hours after they are born. After about a day, it becomes very difficult for them to imprint. Once a chick decides on a parent, it is very hard for it to change its mind. Seeing is important, but hearing helps too. Some chicks can hear their mother's voice from inside the egg, which helps them find her later.
Flamingos pink. Have you ever seen a flamingo? They are famous for their beautiful pink color, but they are not born this way. When flamingo chicks are born, their feathers are gray or white. They get their pink color from the food they eat. They eat small shrimp and plants from the water. This food has a special red color inside. When the flamingo eats this food, the color slowly moves to its feathers. That is how they turn pink. A flamingo with a bright pink color is usually very healthy. Another interesting thing about flamingos is that they often stand on one leg. This might look difficult, but for them, it is actually very easy. Flamingos have a special body. Their leg can lock, so it stays straight without using any power. Because of this, they do not need to use their muscles to stand on one leg for a long time. This helps them save a lot of energy, so they don't get tired while they are resting in the water. Puffed up sparrows. Have you ever seen sparrows in winter? They sometimes look very round and fat. This is not because they have eaten a lot of food. Sparrows push out their feathers to make a space for air around their bodies. This air works like a warm coat and helps to keep their body heat from getting out. By fluffing up its feathers, a sparrow can look about 50% bigger. This is an important way for them to live through the cold winter. This is very important for small birds like sparrows because they lose body heat very quickly. Without this air in their feathers, it would be hard for them to stay warm. A sparrow's body is usually about 42 degrees Celsius. This smart trick helps them save energy and live in very cold weather. Many other small birds do the same thing to survive. Oldest mother bird. Can a wild bird have babies when it is 70 years old? For a special bird named Wisdom, the answer is yes. She is a Laysan albatross and lives on the Midway Atoll. Wisdom is the oldest wild bird in the world. In 2024, she is about 73 years old. Scientists know her age because they put a special ring on her leg in 1956. It is surprising that she can still have babies. In her long life, she has raised at least 30 chicks. Wisdom's story is very interesting to scientists because most Laysan albatrosses live for only about 50 years. Because wisdom is so old and can still have babies, she teaches scientists new things about birds. Every year, she comes back to the same place to build her nest. She takes care of her chicks with her partner. Her life gives scientists helpful information about how some animals can live for a very long time. Smart parrot. Can a bird understand difficult ideas? For a long time, people were not sure, but a parrot named Alex changed their minds. A scientist, Dr. Irene Pepperberg, taught Alex for many years. Alex learned more than 100 English words. He could name over 50 different things, and he knew 7 colors and many shapes. The most surprising thing was that he understood the idea of zero. When Dr. Pepperberg showed him a tray and asked how many red blocks were on it, if there were no red blocks, Alex would say none. This showed he could think in a very smart way. Alex was not just smart, he was also a good friend to Dr. Pepperberg for 30 years. He had his own personality. He sometimes got bored and asked for different things to do. In 2007, he died suddenly when he was 31 years old. The night before, he said to Dr. Pepperberg, "You be good. See you tomorrow. I love you." These last words show that he had special feelings for her and was not just copying words.
Egg's color. Did you know you can guess the color of a chicken's egg by looking at its earlobes? It is a fun fact from the farm. Chickens with white earlobes usually lay white eggs. Chickens with red earlobes often lay brown eggs. This is true for many types of chickens. For example, a chicken called the leghorn has white earlobes and lays white eggs. Another chicken, the Rhode Island Red, has red earlobes and lays brown eggs. A special brown color for the eggshell is made inside the chicken's body, and this is decided by the chicken's type. However, this is not a perfect rule. The most important thing for the eggshell's color is the chicken's parents, not its earlobes. For example, a chicken called the Araucana has red earlobes, but it lays blue or green eggs. Also, the color of the shell and the color of the yolk are different things. The yolk's color comes from the chicken's food. If a chicken eats a lot of corn or special flours, the yolk becomes a dark orange color. If it eats things like wheat, the yolk becomes a light yellow.
Aigamo method. In Japan, some farmers use a special farming method called Aigamo. They use ducks to help grow rice. Farmers put Aigamo ducks in the wet rice fields, called paddies, about 2 weeks after planting the rice. The ducks are great helpers. They eat weeds and bad insects, but they don't eat the young rice plants. When the ducks swim, they move the water and soil. This helps bring more air to the roots of the rice plants. Also, their droppings become natural food for the rice. Farmers used about 20 ducks for 1,000 square meter field. But using the Aigamo method is not always easy. Farmers have to watch the ducks carefully. They need to build fences to keep the ducks in the field and keep them safe from other animals like crows. The timing is also very important. If the ducks go in too early, they can step on the small rice plants. Also, farmers must take the ducks out of the field before the rice starts to make grains. If they don't, the ducks will eat the rice. Because of this method is often used on smaller farms, not very large ones. Nests of pigeons. If you see a pigeon's nest, you might be surprised. It is often just a few small sticks on a building. Pigeons are famous for making very simple and messy nests. Because of this, many people think they are not good at building things, or that they are lazy birds. In some places, people call a very messy room a pigeon's nest. Pigeons live successfully in cities all over the world, so it seems strange that they don't build better nests. But there is a good reason for their simple nests. It is part of their plan to have many babies. Pigeons can have baby chicks up to 6 times a year. If they spent a lot of time and energy building a perfect nest each time, they could not have babies so often. So they build a nest that is just good enough to stop their eggs from falling. This saves their energy for laying eggs and raising their chicks. Also, pigeons originally lived on flat rocks on cliffs. Buildings in a city are like these cliffs. A simple nest is fine for a flat place. 10-month flight. Do you know which bird can fly for the longest time? The common swift is a special bird from Europe and Asia. It spends most of its life flying in the sky. Outside of the time they raise their babies, these birds can fly for 10 months and never land. During this long trip, they eat and drink in the air. They eat flying insects. To do this amazing thing, common swifts have special bodies. They are very good at flying without using a lot of energy. They often use warm air to help them fly higher. They go up to high places, about 2,000 meters in the sky. Scientists think they can sleep while they are flying. One part of their brain is sleeping, and the other part is awake. This helps them fly safely even when they are resting. Why yellow chicks? Why are baby chicks yellow? Many people think their yellow color is cute, but it is actually very important for staying alive. This yellow color, sometimes with brown spots, helps them hide. For chicks that live on the ground, this color makes them look like dry grass or leaves. Because of this, it is difficult for animals like hawks or foxes to find and eat them. But the chicks do not stay yellow forever. When they get bigger and stronger, their feathers change color. When they are big, hiding is not so important because they can fly and protect themselves. Their new adult feathers have different colors. These new colors are for other reasons, like finding a partner. So their first yellow feathers are just to keep them safe when they are small and weak.